I'd like to show you the easy way to set up your fixed rate mortgage in GnuCash. To get started, you will need 4 pieces of information from your bank: your current balance for your mortgage, your interest rate, the amount of each payment that is for escrow, and the number of payments remaining. To get started, create an example mortgage payment transaction in your checking account register, or use a previously entered one if you haven't. As you can see, I've set up a mortgage payment transaction here. If we look at the splits, you can see that $200 went to the mortgage principal, $250 to interest expense, and $550 went to the escrow account. I just made these figures up for this example. When we're done, we'll find out what the real figures are. Now, I will use this transaction as the template for our scheduled mortgage transaction by right-clicking and selecting Schedule. Choose Advanced. Go to Frequency and set it up to be created every month on the first of the month. Then go to the template transaction. Now what we need to do is use these formulas over here with the data from your bank to set up these transactions so that every month when the transaction gets created, the count, interest, and principal will get calculated automatically and be correct, and you won't have to go back and fix them later. The first function is for the payment. So the payment function takes the arguments of your interest rate. In my case, the interest rate is 3.625%, and it's rendered this way with the decimal point 2 places over to the left. The number of payments in a year, which is 12. The number of payments remaining, according to my bank, which is 256. And the current balance, which is $100,000. So that is the payment, principal and interest, and then we will add to that the escrow amount, which is another amount that the bank provides. The bank can tell you what that is if you log on to their website. So we take all that and we put it into the amount that's being paid, total amount. Next, we calculate the interest payment. It's the same variables. ipmt is the function. Interest rate, 12 months. The I tells it which payment we're making. The total number of payments, 256. The current balance. And then these 2 zeros, which I don't know what they are for. We don't need them. That is the interest. Then the principal payment. Same exact parameters. Just copy that into part where we pay the principal and select OK. And I'm going to go back before we do anything else. I forgot to do something. For this example, I'm going to edit this again. I'm going to have this create in advance 180 days so that when we stop and restart GnuCash, you'll be able to see the transactions that get generated. So now what we're going to do is save our file, quit GnuCash, start up GnuCash again. It says there are no scheduled transactions to be entered at this time. 6 transactions automatically created. I don't know what that means necessarily. Let's see if it created them. In my experience, you actually have to restart it twice. So go ahead and save. And it did. Here's our mortgage payment. So it turns out, now that we have our real payments here, I can delete my sample payment. It turns out I'd guesstimated that the amount would be $1,000. It's actually $811.50. If we look at the splits, it calculated the first payment, $259.42 goes to principal. That mortgage escrow, the escrow is the same every time. It's what we set it to, $250. The interest expense is $302.08, and the total amount $811.50. And if you go to the next transaction, these numbers are slightly different. If you want to see how all the principal payments, you can see how with each payment, the amount of that goes to principal goes up, just like in a real mortgage. You can see that the amount of interest with each payment goes down. And in the mortgage escrow, you can see that it's always the same. So now what you can do is your property tax and your insurance and whatever else gets paid out of your mortgage, you can schedule those on your mortgage escrow account. You just come into the mortgage escrow account, add a property tax payment, say on October 1st. And maybe that expenses, whatever account it is, taxes. For now, that's fine. Say it's $500. And let's say you pay this quarterly. You can schedule that quarterly. So frequency would be monthly every 1, 2, 3 months. On the first, tempo transaction, $500. Okay. And your property tax will be taken out of your escrow just like that. So that's the main thing is that's how you set up a amortized mortgage as a scheduled transaction in GnuCash.